12 Rules for Life is a harsh story-based, engaging self-improvement manual for youngsters that spreads out a lot of straightforward standards which can assist us with getting increasingly trained, carry on better, act with uprightness, and equalization our lives while appreciating them as much as we can. Since its production in January and Peterson's going with world visit, 12 Rules for Life totally detonated, commanding success records far and wide. Out of nowhere, millions view, tune into, and follow Peterson via web-based networking media. He's piled on over $60,000 in month-to-month gifts through Patreon, and, obviously, 1 million copies sold. Regardless of whether he's simply struck the correct nerve at the opportune time or put his finger on obvious noteworthiness and importance, the truth will surface eventually. However, with a large number of individuals informing him how the books transformed them, odds are acceptable it's the last mentioned. We should take a gander at 3 of his 12 rules to start to discover. Clear before your own entryway before bringing up the road is grimy. Treat yourself like a youngster you're answerable for. Expect to do what is significant, not advantageous. These form the reason Peterson's book is based on, and in this manner, the setting for understanding why it's been such a triumph. Exercise 1. Before you judge the world, assume liability for your own life. Life isn't reasonable. We as a whole discover that single direction or other. A few of us sooner, some later, some in little ways, some from frightening blows. However, we as a whole acknowledge it in the long run. Like the Russian author Leo Tolstoy, who, in his short, philosophical piece, A Confession, closed there are just 4 sensible reactions to the ludicrousness of life. Numbness, similar to a youngster declining to acknowledge reality. Delight, similar to someone who is addicted on the gluttonous treadmill. Suicide? Hanging tight, regardless of everything. Despite the fact that he finished up suicide was simply the most legit answer, Tolstoy picked the keep-going choice, forever battling on, which reveals to you a great deal about his and Peterson's convictions about a decent life. No issue how unjustifiable life gets, you should never accuse the world. There's consistently somebody who's endured more regrettable than you. Like Viktor Frankl, for instance. Additionally, despite the fact that the future may once in a while look disheartening, in the event that you can concentrate on assuming liability and keeping your very own home clean, in a manner of speaking, you'll locate the awful occasions will pass. Exercise 2. Care for yourself like you would for a friend or family member. Have you at any point gotten a medicine from the specialist and thought, "Nah, I needn't bother with that"? Over 33% of individuals do it normally. As per Peterson, it's neither savvy nor self-satisfied. It's an incendiary form of self-discipline. We do it a great deal and, therefore, will in general care more for others than ourselves. Peterson proposes this as a result of our powerlessness to manage the craziness of life portrayed previously. Much the same as Adam and Eve needed to taste a forbidden product of information, we also enjoy our dull sides every now and then, and in this manner, feel we merit discipline. Be that as it may, similarly as with the injustice of life, we as a whole got tossed out of the Garden of Eden. Like yin and yang, we as a whole convey both light and dim inside us. One can't exist without the other. That implies rather than simply taking a stab at it is possible that one, we should look for balance, which is the reason his subsequent standard is to think about yourself like you would think about a friend or family member. Do what is best for you, despite the fact that it may not generally fulfill you. Exercise 3. Seek importance through penance, not joy through joy. Adjusting your light and your clouded side can take a wide range of forms. Now and again, it might be remaining in bed to get solid, despite the fact that you need to work. Different occasions, it may mean remaining late to take a shot at a Friday. Anyway, it would seem that it generally includes picking importance by making a penance, as opposed to transitory joy by picking delight. Peterson says this is an incredible way of dealing with stress, since it helps balance your life between suffocating in indulgence and being so honest it makes you frantic. Obviously, not all penances are equivalent. Those you make for individual increase, such as staying at work longer than required to pay for a getaway, hold less importance than those you make for more noteworthy benefit, such as volunteering on a Saturday. Despite the fact that it may feel like it when you do it, penance is never extremely about surrendering rewards, it's tied in with conceding them until you can show signs of improvement, typically a sentiment of entireness or happiness. All things considered, it's likewise extraordinary self-discipline preparing. I'll leave you with a similarity Peterson makes. The lotus bloom begins at the base of the lake, soaked in haziness. Inch by inch, it develops its way towards the surface until, in the end, it gets through and into the daylight. I could sure consider more awful approaches to go through a time on Earth than to be a lotus bloom.